Last time on Ebon Ward, after having captured Fort Low, you all decided to take your very first steps towards Lowborough. No more diversions. You've gathered everything you could. You've gained information about the area, learned about the sick lands, defeated many enemies, and now Lowborough came next. You traveled across the deepest patches surrounding Lowborough, breaking through and fighting numerous, almost countless amounts of enemies. Monsters fighting throughout the lands, attempting to take this, almost drawn into this central area. In this patch, you struggled through the environment itself, wrapping its way around, resulting in you cutting your way across foliage and beast until you reached the very edge. Golems assembled throughout, with iron and fire descended upon you as they fought and tore their way throughout the foliage to once more fight you. But as you eventually pierced the other side, fire began to rain down on you, not of flame, but of bolt and arrow. On the distance, an enemy laid upon the tower. Casting bolts upon you, you eventually made your way close, but with negotiation, you were able to learn this person's identity. As you stared across this long bridge, you saw Baron Kajor, he who was the defender of Lowborough, and he who was the father of one you traveled with, Maya, for some time now. Upon learning this information, all the conflict that would have happened ended. Instead, you were allowed entry into Lowborough. And what you saw there was, earnestly, slightly against expectations. The land itself was not as barren and evil as one would expect. As we go to Lowborough, you all cycle across the bridge, move past this tower, and then you, almost shuffling on a line of three, you move in and you look across at these buildings that lie torn, half driven into the muck. It seems like this town has almost sunk with time into the swamps. Moving in, I'll bring you all here. Big map. It'll take a second to load probably, even though I've preloaded it.
Ooh.
How big is it?
Oh,
big enough.
I feel awful. I looked down and saw our host and immediately went, huh! Like, I just legitimately forgot what he looked like.
Fucking jump scare.
Yeah.
I was just like looking around town and I was like, huh!
The mask looks like a big, long, creepy nose.
Yeah.
Witch nose.
He moves forward and walks with this sort of gait. As you see these different growths, mutations out of his body, causes his body to almost move, not unnaturally, but near woundedly, as he sort of limps forward into the town. As you progress, you see, well, different cloaked figures, people wrapped in robes the best they can be to pull themselves in. It's hot, but all the same, it seems like they're almost trying to keep in disease more so than anything. He steps through, he moves up, and sort of flanking his heel, Maya walks with, and she's asking small questions this entire way as they sort of step forward. One of which comes to mind immediately. Where did the elves go? From the town. He sort of stops and then kind of turns around to see everyone. Have they gone somewhere? From my knowledge, they should still be there, right?
In Bohumil?
Kind of nods.
No. Afraid not. They're, we encountered, strange creatures there. Their songs, they kind of pierced your mind. I imagine they had to evacuate.
He kind of like looks. I've not seen sight of them forever now. It's been at least a decade. I thought the woods had gone too dense for them to reach us, not that they might have claimed them instead. He kind of sort of just gives a small nod. Please come in. Make this town your home for now. He sort of steps forward. You notice there's a large procession of people almost near the central courtyard area as he sort of moves in deeper. Maya goes to follow him almost immediately. As going, Eleanor kind of stops and then kind of turns around and it's like, should we get the high-low maybe?
Oh, yeah. Is that feasible?
I hope so. Hold on. Do not fear. I will go back now. I will take care of it, and I will get my dearest friend. He says, it should not be much trouble. He says, he kind of gives a salute over. I shall take care of it. Goodbye. He steps back over that direction, over the bridge, and runs back and gets high-low.
All right. Well, that also helps.
Shrugged.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that works out great.
Yeah, that solved itself.
So, as Barrett moves, he notably gives people as much space as possible. Mostly just not even from probably disease, but more of out of respect of other folks. And as he goes,
I couldn't help but notice, this is surprisingly populated and, forgive my rudeness, more civilized than I anticipated.
Kind of checks back. This is populated, huh? He kind of checks around. This is all that's left. I suppose, of the standards of the rest of the lands, this would definitely seem to be populated, but this is a ghost town to me. Over the last 70 years, I've seen it fade to what we see nowadays. Barrett, as you progress upwards, you notice that there's a child hanging off the edge of this small little wall over here with a guitar, playing these notes, and you notice everyone's listening almost happily in. As all of you progress through, you notice that this entire place, it's a lot like the town that you visited, the very first town. The one where everyone was so happy and cheerful, but in this almost lidless, unknowable way of just completely ignorant to their surroundings, it would seem like. The buildings have begun to mold, break apart, but the people seem to not care at all. It only seems to be that as you look across, you notice marshals and the man in front of you here who seems to have maintained some sort of vigilance over their surroundings. As you all progress, everyone's just sort of looking around, sort of confused or interested. Baird, on the other hand, kind of approaches. He's already got his hand on his hilt. He hasn't pulled out his knife yet because he's very much afraid of the man you were even talking to, but he checks over. This is some freak shit, man.
Barrett points.
Watch your fucking mouth.
He kind of turns over and then turns over to the man who doesn't seem to hear him whisper that, and he just kind of nods his head twice.
We are their guests. We have been shown nothing but kindness so far. I mean, yeah, sure, they shot at us, but reasonable. We would have probably done the same.
They didn't shoot me. But it's okay. It was just a bird body.
Yeah.
And he's notably bigger too. He's a huge
Yes.
dude.
You can tell that he was probably tall, but you can tell that his body is swollen almost and has grown due to these larger growths that have come out of him.
Is that a symptom of some sort of disease?
Perhaps it might have been. Cortina, do you approach him? He kind of checks, he looks over, and then he kind of turns his head down and stares directly at you as he sort of just checks. What can I do for you, Forest Walker?
I assume you weren't born this way, correct?
He kind of stares and he nods his head no.
What disease have you taken in that's caused you to grow in such a way?
He kind of, couldn't tell you. It's been a long, long time. The disease might be gone, but what it's left behind is... He kind of just reaches up, grabs one of the horns, and just kind of runs a finger down it. Permanent. Less a result of these lands, more of a result of these lands itself than perhaps any sort of disease. You stay here long enough, and he kind of looks directly across at you. You seem to have taken that yourself. The mushrooms growing out of your body. You're not entirely human, are you?
I don't believe I am anymore, no. However, you're probably right. It's when you live in these sick lands, you either grow with it or you perish. You appear to have grown with it.
He kind of considers that for a moment as he just sort of, I've become a monster. Gives you a fighting edge in these times, I'd say.
Monstrousness is relative.
Speaking up, Maya's like, yeah, Dad, it's fine. Kind of checks over. How is, your mother? Passed away some time ago. I suppose she did. He, reaches down and sort of almost unconsciously grabs at. It's hidden by the little cloth around his cloak, but Barrett, you kind of get the vision of some kind of locklet of some type that seems to make itself visible beneath the cloth for a moment, before he sort of just lets it loose and then checks around him.
The thing we would have looted out of his body.
Yeah! His Dark Souls lore feel bad for him item.
I see.
Just picked it up and been like, it's not even enchanted. Boo, throws
bro,
it.
it is. It's a pretty good item. Anyways,
Whoop.
pulls out your gun immediately. Oh, fuck yeah.
Barrett, now's your time.
Let's just take a little long rest before we try anything stupid.
I want to make it clear, we are not fighting these people unless they stir trouble
Yeah.
first.
No, absolutely.
Unless it's really good item.
Tani, this cures the sick lands disease item.
I mean, if that were the case.
Oh, God. Sam! Yeah.
I mean, I could ask for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of stepping forward, Tani approaches. Excuse me, sir. Would it be all right if I were to examine some of the people here? Oh, I would like to do that too. He kind of checks in his eye. Here, you know what? Let me just. How did you do there? With that, Tani. He kind of looks. I don't know if I want you experimenting on my peoples. She kind of. I'm just hoping. I'm a priest. I'm not a scientist. I just would hope that I could potentially help. Eleanor just stays quiet in the back.
Yeah. If she tried to block Laz, would have put a hand on her.
Yeah. Oh, as he's just like, priest, stay. Right then, go about your business. She nods and kind of moves on past and starts examining the crowd. Let me have her roll a medicine check. She's actually good at this.
Hey!
Yeah, 23.
Hey, that's her HP!
Yo, that's better than her HP.
No, it is. Shut up. It is not.
23 versus 19 HP.
Fuck off. She has 19 hit points?
She didn't live long out
How
here.
the hell have we kept her alive?
I feel like we've had this conversation 2 times now.
We have, but like, it doesn't change how surprising it is.
I
She needs
can't
to level up
believe
so
that.
bad.
Oh my god, Christian, why? Anyways, continue.
Oh, man. Oh,
Jesus.
God.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Fair enough.
You know, I forgot. I'll have to give them the experience from last session. But anyways, yeah, she starts looking into them. And she sort of starts reciting a prayer and attempts to sort of look at these people. And as she does so, she kind of just sort of mutters to herself and then turns over to Barrett and kind of sort of steps back forward as she's just like, she actually waves over Laz too.
cat has been summoned.
She looks over at both of you. They seem to have something that I can't really decipher in terms of disease. And that would mean that it's something beyond disease, I would say. But beyond that, they seem to be lacking the same type of sickness, specifically that was found in the last town. The aggression, the one we found amongst the people there.
Yeah, that much
Is it
seems
cursed?
apparent.
I'm gonna drop a divine sense.
Sure thing. You drop Divine Sense, and I can tell you that there is something weird in the air here. I'm pretty sure Celestial Fiend or Undead. There's like a tinge, just a slight tinge of celestial energy in this entire area, which is a bit strange to you.
Yeah, I mean, meta, we may know what it is, right?
Mhm.
Fucking piece of shit urn. But, oh
Interesting.
Christ.
One of
Yeah, I bet if I could detect Fae would also ping.
you
Yeah.
there's a
It would
curiosity
Ping all over the place here.
Yeah, the man behind you, the large beast, Braren, kind of seems to peek in. He's interested in your conversation, but he doesn't quite know if he's allowed to intervene yet.
We should probably give you an update on how all the major locations in these lands have been doing.
he kind of says, even when we've sort of run low on people to strike out into the wild, so we haven't done it in quite a while.
And luckily, we managed to more or less visit all villages that are in this map. Takes out map.
I see.
Yeah, we've been wandering a bit.
One of his eyes peeks across the way while talking to you at the keeper stepping across the way. And he just kind of says, watch yourself, and then turns his attention back to you. Alric stops, almost freezes for a second.
Alric, you might want to take your helmet off and put a cloak over your armor. Otherwise, you might catch a stone to the back of the head.
He kind of
If you're
checks
lucky.
I
around.
want to wish he had his helmet on.
Yeah.
He kind of nods, checks his way across the way. He's just like, they seem docile enough, I suppose. He steps past, but really quick, you're gonna update Braren as he looks back over to you.
Yeah.
How fares the
Yeah.
towns of Lowborough?
The neighboring ones, kind of a mixed bag, unfortunately.
Do we?
Mixed bag of crap.
Yeah. Most fortifications have been taken over by wild creatures, mostly rats.
He has a visible kind of expression when you say that. It's hard to really make out humanoid expressions on his face, but the disgust is
The
palpable
eye
in the
roll.
eyes.
It's the
Yeah.
eye roll. Like,
Yeah.
fucking
Very
rats again.
Yeah.
Yeah, as mentioned.
What is the?
Oh, go for it.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead, please.
I was just gonna say, as mentioned, Bohumil has more or less fallen. I mean, the town is in shockingly good condition, so people could move back in. And we've captured, what, 2 or 3 forts?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
At
So-
least 2.
at least 2.
What is the town with the rangers?
Oh, the town with the Rangers? Yeah, so to give you the names, the town that was completely destroyed by like rats was Stribog,
Yes.
and
that was it.
Dazbog was the one that
Strabog.
had people left.
Strabog has been razed to the ground, and Dazbog is surprisingly still operational. When we wandered our way in, we were met with hostility from the Rangers. They seemed to be afflicted by some sort of illness that clouded their judgment.
Laz here was able to help a good number of them, actually.
He
I don't have a
thinks
lot of
it's-
hope. I don't have a lot of hope that those forts haven't been reoccupied by now.
He kind of thinks about. You really notice he just kind of stares at you, acknowledges what you said, and then here one town still stands is definitely good news, but Bohum's loss is... It's... Even if we were able to go back, there would not be enough people to protect those who would reside there now.
Yeah.
The magical ward still stands, if that's anything.
How many defenders are left at Dazbog?
I mean, we engaged with them for a while.
Yeah,
Do we have
around
like
20. 20-ish, right?
Yeah, there was like... There's less... There were about 20 when you got there. You
We killed, like,
dispatched
2.
about half.
We
No.
didn't kill that many.
Yeah. No, it wasn't that many.
we definitely
because-
did kill a couple.
Yeah,
Yes,
we
but
killed
not
like
that
5.
many. Yeah. There was so yeah, you'd say there's probably about 10 to 15 left then.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, there were casualties, but there should be like 10 or 15 of them left.
And many sick civilians that could also be healed. They were not beyond saving when we left.
They won't last long then.
Hardly enough to keep a town afloat.
He kind of considers that and is like, that changes things. Oh gods. He
Yeah,
Ye-
and we do have some more worrying news.
he looks at you
The sickness has spread to in between now.
between.
Yeah.
He's like he kind of like seems almost like something about that is bitter to him, and he kind of looks over to Maya and then kind of checks back. He's like, well, I suppose that's troubling. Is that why you're here? Checks over to Maya. Yes, we were trying to find some sort of cure, hoping we could find it deep in Lowborough. First time we've heard from In Between in a long, long time. Fitting it would be now, after their own struggles need their assistance.
Yeah.
He kind of, What are you all doing down here, again? You say you're from the Ebon Ward? Not
Yeah.
much knowledge of that.
Uh,
Actually, hang on.
He's been
Hang
around
on.
for a while.
He's been around for a while. He has history trained, so... Okay. What's the DC on knowing the Ebon Ward, Will?
It's 20 because I used my last genius. I think I've got one more. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll burn
Alrighty.
my genius just to give it to
Okay.
him. He's like,
Alrighty.
Barry kind of like,
come on. The Ebon Ward? Huh?
Yeah. he kind of...
It's
He's
the
like...
name of the show.
Yeah, he's like... All right. He thinks about that, and then he just kind of nods his head.
The King's
society
Guard,
of-
if you will.
Yes, a society of monsters I've heard too. He's
kinda.
like, you're at home out here. He sort of says with a slight bit of derision, but also acceptance. It sounds like, some time ago, the name might have struck fear in me or worry, but nowadays, the Keepers have betrayed us. All of the world has abandoned us, and I have become a monster myself. I do not think I would be willing to turn down your help if offered.
Yeah.
You're welcome here. What brings the Ebon Ward down south?
Well, I'm going to be candid with you, sir. There are slightly selfish reasons, but helping your people is definitely on the docket, and especially
Well-
now that we've seen how many folks are suffering here. Yeah, that's becoming a top priority.
It could be a good side effect of what we're here to do.
Yeah. So
Our mission does have something to do with those keepers too.
in fact, if we play our cards right, might wipe them off the planet.
He almost immediately
May the divine
speaks
hear
up
you,
like,
Barrett.
they
That's
have... The Keepers have done us wrong, but I bear no sort of grudge to that. Grudges are irrelevant at this point. But if you were
It is
willing to
no-
help in some ways, I will accept that.
It is no matter of grudge, it is a matter of preserving as many lives as possible.
Yeah. Keepers are stretching out further, getting more aggressive with their tactics. They're starting to get civilians involved, just to push forward their agenda for, which I don't think you would care about, but they want war.
So, hey, Will, when did the Keepers, like, start getting really bad?
So the Keepers started getting really bad about 20 years ago because that's when the quotation marks assassination attempt happened on the Queen, who then bolstered that to her advantage. We basically went full like, we have to protect ourselves. It's so dangerous these days. So like, yeah.
Keeper Alrock steps back up and looks over in your direction as he kind of looks and he's like, "Is all that true?"
Do you think I'm in the habit of lying?
He is just like, I mean, no, but you can keep secrets. There's some reason. He just kind of, it just sounds so. He stops.
Is there a place we can sit?
He kind of checks. He just kind of immediately sits down on the stone floor here. Bran does, and then he's just like, "Oh, if you
Fair
wish
enough.
for benches or chairs, there's more up there."
Right.
Alrock just kind of looks at everyone moving off. He's just like, whatever.
Now,
Regardless, we're here to find a cure.
yeah. Because, see, King is sick at the moment. Has been for a long time. Got some nasty orange goo or something leaking out of him. Blowing up like a damn blowfish. We're hoping that if we can cure him, he can take command again.
I mean, there's no need to dance around the reason to here, Sir Barrett, I think at least. The one who now leads the Keepers, one that goes by Charlotte Payne, daughter of the king, poisoned him with the Sicklands disease.
I've met her. Brat.
Barrett's eyes, you can't see it, but his eyes widen.
Wait, you've met Payne?
Aye, she came down here. She was one with the Keeper battalion that came to Lowborough, seeking out. She said she came to help us. Her real goals are beyond my knowledge. She was a liar.
Well, I think we do know.
Just
what
like the
it
gnome that came before her, too.
Yeah. The Tobbles.
Toter.
Yeah. Well, or Toten. Honestly, both would be a problem.
It seems we've had similar thorns in our sides for a long time then.
See? Ebon Ward's a good friend to have. We both hate the same people.
He kind of, very well then. You seek a cure? I'm sorry to tell you, but I have no idea where to find it.
Yeah.
Shrugs.
That's where we come in.
Of course. If you knew where to find it, I'm fairly certain that the Sicklands would not be in the state that it's in.
But if you have any leads yourself, I might be able to help point you in the right direction.
Barrett just crosses his arms.
Rumor has
Lady
it-
Eleanor.
Yeah, actually, boy, I was going to be really rude and be like, hey, nerd, get over here. Barrett doesn't do that. He just,
Hey, nerd, yes?
yeah.
Mhm.
Barrett instead just like kind of just gives a gesture to come over. Doesn't even really say anything.
All right, yeah, she comes over. Let me roll. Okay, she kind of moves up as she's just like, right.
Ellie Smart.
We haven't found too much in the way of proof of the cure, but we did. We think at least in some way it is tied to the Fae. That's something we've been able to piece together, I believe, at least from my research. It definitely doesn't seem too natural, and it would sort of help explain how the Druids have found some form of immunity towards it.
yeah, not sure if you're aware of that, but the druids from the Mondegreen Circle are, from what we can tell, and I'm actually pretty good friends with one, immune.
He kind of thinks about that, and he's just like, "Oh, immune, huh? I've yet to find someone immune to the purest strain, but yes, I myself have found my constitution to be rather. He sort of looks at himself. It has changed me over time, but it has taken decades, and I still have maintained my sanity to a degree. He, even still, I lapse. We all lapse. It is a sinister thing.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about those patches of Feywood that have been popping up in the wild? I've no idea what you're talking about there, no.
Really?
Though, if you seek the Feywilds, your best bet may lie within the library itself. It was well documented in a time in the past. Alternatively, yeah, he sort of nods. Yes, the Grand Library of Lowborough. Have you not heard of it? He kind of seems surprised.
Barrett shakes his head. Yeah, sorry. Lowborough's been kind of off our radar for, knowing what the hell's going on for basically a century at this point.
He seems surprised, and then it sort of makes sense once you point it out like that, and he's just like, aye. Lots of knowledge in there. People who study things, scientists, all that.
With it being this muggy, how do you guys keep the books in good condition?
He kind of checks. Well, for one, we keep it in a contained environment. He checks. It's sealed with magic, deeply and tight underneath the castle's courtyards. It technically was surrounded by water, but all the same, that's sort of why we need those seals in order to keep it in well conditioned. It should still be fine. No, he kind of says, "Yes, there's a castle." He sort of looks over that way. It is where the He stops. It seems he wanted to say something, but then stopped saying it. And then Barrett, you have insight. Give me.
Yeah, I do have them there insight. That's pretty good actually. I'll just.
Okay. He says. The castle set up far down to the south has been near the lake waters. It is built near on top, the natural waters acting as a moat. There the people who rule over Lowborough lie. If you seek it out, you should find the library beneath it.
Wait, you're not in charge?
No, I'm just the captain of the guard. Your insight, you're picking up a lot of this animosity. You're picking up a lot of this animosity, yes. Specifically targeted at rulers of Lowborough, the castle keeps, and all of that stuff. And you think you remembered when Laz and Carthian were talking about noble houses and other things like that. There definitely seemed the history of houses seems to be more local, like earlier in history, not dating back over 1,000 years, probably.
Interesting.
And beyond that, it also seems to nobility seems to have taken hold in Lowborough after the war with the Veritas Legion.
Okay.
And the thing you're picking up is between the knowledge sitting in the back of your mind and how he's talking now is that there seems to be something there that really seems to bug him. And you just have that information in regards to talking about these things now. And you see, he definitely seems to get more angry when you talk about those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go for it.
No, it was also something that Hodon mentioned in the in the writer's strike episode.
Right. Barrett, like, I'm not gonna move his icon for the sake of it, but Barrett's gonna get close to Braren and kind of whisper,
if you want to, speak more candidly about them, we're open ears. Ebon Ward's job is to make sure good people get to keep good things and remove the problems, yeah? It's our job.
He takes a breath, and then he exhales outwards, and steam almost seems to exit his mouth. which is a bit strange considering the muggy, but it is actually getting a little colder now since it is in the winter. But still, he just sort of looks.
Swamps in the winter get to negative temperature.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's not good.
They've abandoned us is what they've done. Though I would hardly say they've ever been with us. He kind of, looks... The castle is a very different sight than Lowbrow. After everything went wrong, they locked themselves away, the knights closing the gates and leaving us all back here. They have never let us in ever again. They still maintain the guard of their very keep. The library's locked off from them, and they probably won't let you in. That's just the way it is.
Is there another
Cowards.
way in? Like, there's gotta... We're talking about a castle here. There's gotta be a secret entrance, yeah?
How are they getting supplies?
That's also a great question.
Does he have
In
a
their
skill that he might
farms?
be able to learn this? No farms there. Let me see if he would, you know what? I think he would. Let me roll this without
Vampires.
giving away what the
Veritas.
skill check would be, but I'll roll what he has in it. Yeah, of course not. I've got no clue. I wish they'd starve to death at this point, but no. They maintain themselves on the castle walls, and they seem just fine. He kind of considers, though, if anything, they may have the same curse as these poor people. He sort of checks over and gestures at the person standing next to him, who's just sort of sitting down, sort of crutching their legs, kneeled up as they kind of
Vibing?
look up at the sky. Yeah, basically, they require no food, no rest. They simply gaze up. Their bodies have withered in response, but they don't die. Neither do they seem to care about their starvation.
Barrett looks up.
They don't seem like undead, though. I
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah,
detect anything.
Barrett, you're
like
looking
that.
up?
Yeah, he's like, why look up?
Uh-huh. You wanna roll a what is good here for you, Barrett? Investigation.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Fuck, Barrett.
Oh. You
know
can just
what?
tell they're looking at a blank patch in the sky. You're gonna do something?
I'll tell you what. I have a suspicion already, but I think what Barrett's gonna do is gonna scratch his head and be like, it's kind of cloudy. And
Yeah.
he'll investigate later. He's definitely
Yeah,
curious.
sure thing.
Because
Sure
like
thing.
that's a notably
Oh.
weird characteristic.
Also, Cortina, before you
Would
go
you
out
like the
there,
clouds to move? Oh, go ahead.
let me. I do want to
Your
actually
mic sounds
cut
kind
over
of
for a second
distant.
there. Yeah, your mic does sound kind of distant, Brennan.
What about now?
It's a little
Much
closer.
better.
Yeah. So yeah, let me cut away for a second. Cortina, you approached Alrock, correct?
Oh, yeah.
You noticed that he's just been he's been dazed. He seems to be looking around in the different areas around here. He's just kind of like checking around, and he sees you approach. Cortina. I see. Oh, hello.
I sense that you are a bit out of it.
He kind of nods his head. I've been here once before, though.
Isn't it the most beautiful city you've ever seen?
He sort of as he looks across at the rotting buildings, the falling to pieces. I wouldn't say it's the most beautiful, but this is the only city you've ever seen, is it?
One so populated, so filled with people coexisting with rot, not driven to madness, simply at peace. Wouldn't
There's
this be
something-
great for the entire world?
He kind of considers it, I don't know. Perhaps you could think of it that way, but it makes me feel guilty. It
As
used to
it
be so
should.
all you said, there's this peace in the air, but there used to be so much more, Cortina. There were more people here, more joy in the streets. It was blind and concerning. In the past, I thought it was unnatural and terrifying, but now I just feel guilt. He
This
kind
is
of
somehow your fault.
no, not this, but what we've done to these people in this state. They look at me with joy in their eyes, despite what we did. What our actions resulted in.
You speak as though forgiveness is something to be admonished.
he forgiveness when it's granted with a mind willing to grant it, they don't even recognize me, but they should. The armor. How can they forgive if they don't even feel pain? There's nothing to forgive in the first place. It's just emptiness, raw happiness emanating through their minds.
That does seem unnatural. She walks over to this guy right here.
He kind of follows you.
Are they sentient?
Hello. Hello. Would you like something? Please take it. It's on the house. He kind of pushes forward this rotting piece of meat forward that's been there, and it's more mold than meat. It seems to have grown. This entire colony, it seems to be this poured
Perfect
white
for
with this
Cortina.
different-
Yeah, she
It
takes
does
it
seem
and she
perfect for
takes
you,
a
yeah.
bite.
There's so many different colonies on this thing. You take a bite and it resonates. It gives Auroch flinches a little bit, but doesn't seem to be as off as he usually is on this subject. He's been with you for a bit of now, so he's sort of used to it. He understands you're a different type of person, I would suppose, as he sort of like checks directly at you, and he's like, I suppose this place would seem like a home for you, wouldn't it? It's not like my city or my hometown, but it is, well, it's befitting of yours.
I assume the hustle and bustle of a big city would also contain conflict, despair, disparity.
He nods. There certainly is something of trouble there. I would say in the past, I remember there's a story. He kind of considers in the past. I remember in my town we had a nasty bit of trouble once a crop season went bad. We had decided to, and the best we could, we went up to. I went with a caravan to try to go sell things near Leviara, but, well, we were horribly outsold by Sweetstone that year, to say the least of it. When we went back, there was a mighty trouble in town, and to say the least, violence started spreading up. Some of the youths that didn't very much like the life of farming started to get in a lot of trouble in town. I got involved with that. My father wasn't very happy with it. And afterwards, there was some violence, and someone ended up getting killed. It dowered the moves of everyone in town, and was an event that no one could forget for the next 2 to 3 years. But when you compare that to the smiles here, it certainly doesn't feel like an ideal life. But I don't know. You've talked to me a lot about it, and I don't want to die. And I feel like that's some idea I've had that I wouldn't care about when I was here, but I don't know. It feels like I would be lost without my desire to avoid death. That's what's made me myself nowadays.
I suppose that's the one thing that's wrong with these people, is despite this everlasting peace, they cannot perish, it seems, correct?
Yeah. Truly
But you wouldn't
free
choose
from the
this
cycle.
life.
Yeah. I wouldn't choose it either. It's freedom from the cycle of life and death, but he kind of looks around. I don't envy the way they're free. Even though I don't think it would be much concern if I was, I was like that for so long, wandering around these swamps unaware of what I was and what I'd done. Perhaps if one was born into a life from this, from beginning to end, they could live it, but there's too much I've done wrong. To simply forgive I wouldn't be able to forgive myself. I would be a coward, and I'm tired of being a coward, Cortina. It's not the type of man I wish to be.
Then maybe it's time you do something that makes you worthy of forgiveness.
You sort of stun him with that as he kind of thinks about that. I suppose so. You hear in the distance, someone's talking about clouds in the sky, and you realize, oh, I could help with that.
Oh, sorry. I think they need the weather changed. I'll be right back.
Right.
Hold that thought.
He kind of nods his head.
Did somebody say that there was too many clouds in the sky?
Yeah. Barrett kind of gestures. He doesn't want to point because he feels like that's rude as shit here.
But he like gestures to some of the people. A lot of folks just kind of stare up that are infected. I'm curious what the hell they're even looking at, but it's kind of cloudy tonight.
I could take care of that.
I mean, if it's
Maybe you
not,
could get a closer look, and everybody else could get a closer look at what they seem to want to look at.
what'd you have in mind?
I could just move the clouds.
Yeah,
Yeah, Cortina can like control the weather and stuff.
this is true.
Druids, dude. Fucking
Druids.
druid.
Barrett.
I believe you still have spell slots for it too.
I do. Yeah, just enough.
Barrett just
Uh-huh.
shakes his head. Fucking magic.
How does it
Alright.
work?
Yeah, I'll basically give you advantage on that, like so you can roll again if Cortina moves the clouds for you.
Yeah.
You know what?
Sure.
I'll burn the spell slot. It'll be call lightning, and then I'll just have control over the clouds that are already in the area. I'll move them.
You know what? Because we're probably going to be resting soon, and this feels important. I do have one more flash of genius. Let's burn
Use it on yourself.
So it's 22.
Okay. You stare up at the sky. You see it's you've wandered through the night and everything a lot now, and honestly, at this point, it's getting a little late again, and it's that perfect time of day where the sun is in the sky, but you can also see the moon beginning to almost like hang there in that bright sky itself.
Yeah.
And as you sort of stare up, you look that they're not looking at the moon. You turn your gaze over and you look in a direction. And as you do, it's a bit strange. All of them who look up, occasionally you'll notice they look up into the sky, gazing at something. But it's all the same point. They're not sky gazing. They're looking at something you can't see that hangs in the sky. But as you stare directly at it, perhaps it's something about you've gone deeper south, beyond this side of the world. The sky is a little different here, and it's almost like you catch a glimmer of something, but then it's gone. You gaze up, looking in that direction. Something hangs there. You can tell something's up there. And that disturbs you. So whatever it is, it's not here. It's not. It's gigantic. It's imposing. It's terrifying, but it's not present. It is not visible via your eyes.
I want to
dis-
believe.
But
Yeah.
but Barrett, the thing that gets you the most, perhaps it's your own superstition towards magic that makes you feel this more than anyone else. You can swear it's looking at you too.
Barrett is gonna remove the scope from the sniper and use that as like basically a telescope to see if that'll help at all, because he's like, what the fuck?
It's just dark up there.
It's the sun.
No.
It's all
What? Hey, sorry, I dropped it. Hang on.
yeah. You
Don't make jokes.
Yeah.
My fucking break.
Mhm. Barrett, do you perhaps have any sort of knowledge of astrology or astronomy?
I know someone who does.
Yeah, he not especially for him. Like he's very much on the tech side of things. I don't know
Mhm.
if he's probably looked at.
If it's astronomy, it's science. If it's astrology, it's
Yeah.
magic.
Right.
You know
yeah.
what? Actually, though, but I feel like this would technically qualify as a nature role.
I have good nature.
Like, if we consider nature being the way the world works, then yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Fucking Katuga in the sky.
Oh my
Let's
god! Barrett.
Barrett, you see an Eldritch God and you die.
Oh, Barrett. You stare up at this, and you notice that the way the sky bends there, the sky is a very particular color at this time of day, and something about it, it still hangs with that color, but it seems just a little bit. You can make out a sphere in the sky that hangs there. As you stare up at it, you realize that what hangs there almost looks like a moon.
Like a second one.
A second one hanging in the sky in the south. As you stare directly at it, you start taking notes in your head. There has to be something. There has to be some type of note or otherwise that you could have to anything that you could use to try to verify this. And then your mind wanders to the library, an old library nobody's heard about for a long, long time. One preserved with magics to maintain the books inside. If this was really just to this degree of visible, if anyone was able to gaze into the sky at some point in this time, perhaps you have the coordinates generally in the sky, you might be able to find information about that place.
Barrett still looking.
Barrett.
Just kind of mumbles.
How long's that library been there?
At least centuries old. It was founded right along with the palace itself. So, but he kind of says it directly. We've had our own ways of preserving knowledge, so a lot of the time we generally used it to preserve our own teachings from down here from even longer back. Why you might find a weird compilation of medicines and stories from our peoples in there, accumulated by some scholar.
Barrett, sir, is there something wrong with this guy?
There's something up there. And before anyone's a smartass, it's not the moon or the sun. It might be
Laz looks up.
some kind of sphere.
Be careful. Your eyes can be dangerous.
Yeah.
If there is something up there that lays undetected by all these people for all these years, maybe we should ignore it for now.
See, that's the scary part, Laz.
He gestures to the people.
It's not going undetected.
Laz, you look around and you notice at least 7 of the people surrounding you, up on this balcony area, up around in the town. They've just arced their head up throughout the conversation and seem to be looking up at the sky into that one singular point.
Looking directly at it, I'm gonna use Divine Sense.
All right.
Oh,
Divine.
here.
Now, here's the thing. As you use Divine Sense, there's a limit of range, and whatever it is, it's pretty high up there.
The presence of evil registers on your sense, like only 60 feet of you, Sag.
Yeah. You can't sense it. You can only see them looking up at it. But then, as you sense, actually, Laz, you finally realize where the Divine Sense was coming from. It's the reflection of that empty sky off the glimmer of these 7's eyes.
Sir,
Yeah.
I don't know what that is,
Yeah.
but it has a powerful enough divine aura that the mere reflection in these people's eyes is triggering my senses. Laz says, shaking a little bit.
Tani kind of looks, what are you talking about? He kind of turns back as she looks up at the sky, but there's something there in the empty sky?
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh God! Tani looks up as she
Immediately
stares up at the
starts
sky.
screaming.
Yeah, actually, yes, she does. She hits the ground and starts screaming as she looks up at it, and she covers that as Eleanor. Tani, are you okay? As she just sort of looks up, and she just kind of looks down, and her eyes have gone wide as she just kind of stops, and then your host is pretty confused. It is like, what's going on?
They're seeing things.
What?
Maybe it's because we are very tired. We've traveled 3 days without rest. Would there be a safe place for us to rest for tonight?
He kind of looks. Right. Yes. Sure enough. He stops. Come with me. I'll take you there.
Yeah, Laz picks up Tani.
Yeah.
Straight up Princess carries her.
She seems stunned in a way as you sort of take her that way, and
Keep your wits about you. Don't let it smell your fear.
You start moving as going on the way.
I've been traveling with Lupescu for months now.
Moving on. Everyone's kind of silent. Baird kind of steps up. Freaky shit, boss. Screaming at the empty sky, huh? That's something. he's
This man is will be the one to save us all because his insight is too low to perceive the fuck shit.
yeah.
He's
So
too stupid to be scared.
Barrett has not stopped looking at it, and as people
Uh-huh.
walk on by, Barrett slowly raises a hand, makes a finger gun, bang.
It starts bleeding.
yeah. As you do
Chad.
that, you turn and you notice Cortina still isn't left and is staring at you.
He
Do you
just
think
turns
you
and
can
looks
get
at her.
it?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Do you think you can get it? Does your gun shoot far enough?
Yeah,
The sniper shoots very far.
gun shoots
But
far,
who knows?
but I'm just scared it's not gonna get through the skin.
Well, then I guess you'll have to come up with a new tool. You're very smart.
Thank you, Cortina. He
As we are sorry.
yeah, he just looks down at the sniper. I've got a good starting point.
Barrett, build me a rocket.
Uh,
I'm going
We're
to.
going to the moon.
I'm going to hit it with my lance.
Moon's haunted.
Ebon Ward's space program about to begin.
Tears of the Kingdom, latch a rocket to your lance and just shoot straight up.
What were you saying?
As we're making our way through to the safe location, Laz turns around to I forget his name. His name is complicated. I'm sorry.
Brern?
Brern?
Yes, Baron Kaiser.
Baird.
Baron.
Son of a
Listen,
gun.
Barrett was first. Just gonna say it.
Barrett
Look, you know what you should say? Be respectful. Call him Captain Kaiser.
There you go. CC.
CC. Yeah. So yes.
Captain Kaiser, it seems that there is a presence with a faint divine trace hovering above the city. We are to investigate it further, but that's what our comrades perceived, and Tani here didn't take it very well.
He kind of thinks about that. He's just like, is that what they've been looking at? I could tell there was something wrong, but I was never able to see it myself. I thought it was just something the sick could observe.
I don't have the bones.
Barrett,
necessary
insight!
to look up.
Insight, Barrett!
Yeah, Barrett doesn't trust, like, politely does not trust anything people are saying.
I saw that.
All right, Barrett,
20.
that's enough. That's enough. 15 was the DC.
Oh, right.
Barrett,
Oh, I'm sorry, that was
If you think-
investigation.
he was assuming it must have been something the sick could only see. You're fully aware of the fact that you have a bit of the sick lands still inside of you. It's taken your lungs. You don't have the deep sickness, but perhaps there's more truth to that. After all, even Tani has gotten sick multiple times throughout this adventure, despite being healed. Perhaps her sight similarly has been just so barely adjusted.
Laz is immune to diseases.
Uh-huh.
You didn't even ask me to make a roll. A good one.
And
Good
one.
Barrett got fucked up by the sick lands, like, really bad.
Mm-hmm. So,
Oh, Barrett looks at Alrock and, like, grips his head and aims it up. Can you see that?
He stops.
He has had every fucking disease pumped into him.
Sorry about that.
Let me roll a perception check for him really quick.
The
Damn it,
stars?
boy.
The sky.
Like there.
There. It seems like a blank point. I'm sorry. I don't really know what I'm supposed to be looking for here.
It's like a circle.
I mean, I'll keep an eye out tonight, I suppose. Sure.
Yeah.
As you progress, Kaiser stops you as he points. This place should do. It was an old manor house. It's big enough to sort all you, and the old owners have long since fled.
Thank you.
He nods. Yeah, as you look across the way there, looks like... Here, let me even just...
Sorry, allow me to bother you for just one more time before we go to rest. What is the name of the so-called nobles that inhabit those ruins of a castle?
Interesting question, yes. You ask that, and he kind of checks the way up. He considers it. I'm not sure which noble families managed to escape in. There's numerous. Though, King Primisil is gone. If his royal family remains inside, well, they might be there.
King Shimisu.
Do you ever
I
hear
see,
anything
thank you.
from them?
Not a word. They don't talk to us nowadays.
Then they might as well be dead.
Suppose so.
Hmm.
Eleanor kind of turns over. Laz, can you help me get Tawny inside?
Laz carrying Tawny.
She
yes, of
cracks
course.
open the door and steps in. And
I can't. The
Sorry,
door,
buddy, you're
the
gonna have
door's
to stay
too
outside.
powerful. Ah,
here,
door.
let me just look at that.
Nope. Come on.
This
get
is a
off.
pretty nice
This
place.
is the
all
very
things
first time
considered.
I've ever wanted to get off of Lupescu.
Here, let me reapply this thing here. Let me just yeah.
It was me
Whoops.
running into the closed door. It's fine. It wasn't
Yeah.
the map.
So, yep, you guys should be able to. If you get off, I'll just drag you, and then you all start heading inside this place. And as you do, let me just here. I'll put you inside. Lupescu's a
Thank
little
you.
big.
Yeah. Sorry,
Barrett,
buddy.
you
Yeah.
head on inside as well. As you see, this tiny little room is in front of you.
Oh, this
And,
little garden's cute.
Yeah,
Whatever this
as
is.
you start going inside,
Damn it.
you can,
Lupescu.
you have to you have to drag over your icon to get it good again. Like make a little box.
Select the void.
Oh, I
and
got
then
you.
select-
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Lupescu just almost rests his head like on top of these little
Aw.
greens that are outside and waits there.
Dog.
Cortina, you step out into this garden. It's pretty nice. Do
Yeah,
you
I
open
like
this
the
door in
garden.
front of you?
Yeah.
All right, you check inside,
get
and yeah, it
killed
looks like there's a
immediately.
way that going upstairs.
Alrock.
Checking across the way, he kind of runs on inside. Yes.
Giga Chad Carthian is already on the top floor.
There's
Oh,
a
is that
private.
what? Oh, okay. I see.
No, that's the bottom floor there.
Boo.
There seems to be an empty room. I think I might need your services.
Right. What? He kind of steps behind you. How can I help?
Champion's work.
Oh,
And she goes up the stairs.
yeah.
You got this guy wrapped around your little finger.
Yeah.
From keeper to
Upstairs.
simp.
Upstairs, there's an indeterminate amount of rooms that will store all of you. You can come
Wonderful.
downstairs. This is where stuff
Hammer
happens down
space.
here. Hammer space rooms. Yes.
Hell yeah. Barrett will step out of the way so that
Maya,
Tawny can be plopped down into a chair.
People start heading inside. Maya turns to her father. It's like, so you don't mind if I are you busy here right now with all the imminent death? Patrols need to happen. Yes, I need to be getting back to it. Can I come with? Maybe. Yes, of course. Come on, let's go.
Yay!
They both walk off and start chatting as all
Father and
left
daughter
here.
time. Anyways, eldritch abominations in the sky, huh?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Baird steps in. I'm going to fuck to bed. I'm tired. I ain't one for all this stupid goddamn fucking nonsense. With you just start getting off.
Baird, I didn't know you wanted to participate.
The captain of the guard.
I'm just gonna. I'll just
back
take this
down.
different room. Yeah. He just like walks over and he just like hops on this little like rope thing here, just passes out there on that like
Like a weird
fucking
little hammock.
Yeah.
After putting Tawny down, checking on her, like Laz stands up, turns to the party. After checking with the captain, he did mention that King Shimisil did once reign here, albeit he seems to be long gone. It is unknown if his family is still in there. But if all the nobles went in there and hid away, I think we may have a way in. Laz takes his brooch.
That could be a ballsy play, though. If those nobles didn't play nice, you're gonna be in the thick of it.
No, I'm not going in alone.
Yeah, fair enough. I'd like to do a little more research before we jump on that. It's a good idea, but I want to be prepared and cautious.
Abudin's kind of
Oh,
sort of-
Jesus!
yeah. He's just next to you. He's just like he almost jumps at your reaction for a
Oh
second.
my god,
there.
assassin! Who the hell are you?
Yeah, he's holding the door closed with his body, which is a practical way of saying he looks like he's leaning on it like an edgy cool guy. As he sort of just
Cool.
looks about. I'm not quite sure what everyone's learned, but it seems like there's a lot to take in. What's the plan now?
Oh boy.
Reach the library should be priority.
Yeah.
from
Oh, yeah,
what
that's
we've
what I
learned.
meant.
Yeah, that library is priority number 1. If it's been here that long, it's got to have some information, not just on the diseases, but, you know.
Laz perhaps the chair, gestures to Eleanor to take a seat.
She kind of thought, just put Tawny on it for
Yeah,
now.
put Tawny there.
I thought she was already like resting in a little bed. Something. Oh, those are books.
Those are books, yeah. You just tuck her into the bookshelf. There you go, sweetie.
Fucking nerd, get in the locker, loser.
Yeah, she takes a seat down there.
No, yeah. If Tawny was not already resting in a place, Laz would definitely put her down.
Yeah,
Laz isn't that heartless.
Is Tawny like zonked out now?
She's fucking zonked.
Okay.
It's okay.
And check her pupils. Like,
After a
let's
short
do a
rest, she'll be
little-
back up to full HP.
You're right.
Yeah.
full medical diagnosis here, if possible.
Nice.
Eleanor's just like, it looks like shock. For the most part. I don't think she's under some kind of weird spell or anything like that. I mean, it's fair. We've been going for a day. Everyone's kind of exhausted. I could imagine she kind of like looks to everyone, especially with her constitution. I think something like that would take her out.
Yeah. That's
No,
true.
no, nothing against her. It's just,
Barrett just shakes his head.
Facts are facts. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, let her
I
rest.
don't think there was a single time she didn't get sick in that journey.
I mean, it is the sick lands.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't had a problem with it.
Yeah, of course you wouldn't. She pats your shoulder. She just kind of steps back. All right, I
You
think
did
she'll be
pretty
fine
well
for now.
yourself too.
Yeah, I'm learned. She kind of checks across the way. I'll keep an eye on Tawny throughout the night. I'll get some sleep myself, so if someone else can take a shift who's good at medicine,
Yes.
that would be nice.
Yeah.
Thank you. Do you? Sorry. Go ahead, Christian.
She was just going to bring up, the plan after this. I'm not quite sure.
That we can decide once we're rested. I'm pretty sure tired minds don't make good plans.
Suppose so. I guess now would be a good time. Let's just see what those rooms are like.
Yeah.
Barrett,
Avoid
sir.
one of them.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I bet
Barrett,
she's.
sir, what exactly did you see up there?
Barrett's got his arms crossed. He's leaning against the wall, and his head is just down. He's thinking. He's just like he has no idea how to explain what he's seen in a way that is useful, and that's very annoying to him, especially when he looks over at Tawny, who had a way more visceral reaction, and he's kind of thankful that he didn't get that.
It's not useful, but I saw like, I assume like an orb or a sphere. I don't know. It's huge.
Okay.
Yeah.
There are some creatures in the Sicklands that can hide their form by twisting light around them. It's some sort of invisibility, but not quite magical. Do you think it could be something like that?
He thinks for a while.
Distinct possibility, but something was different about this. It's definitely magic or some bullshit. It has to be. It's not some natural phenomenon. The weirdest
Dude.
part is it felt like he was looking at me. Like he could see me. You know, you get that.
Conscious observer.
Yeah. You know, you get that feeling when someone's looking at you, like you can just feel it.
Yes.
Yeah. But of course, when you do, you turn and take a gander and
Nothing's there.
no. It's more like our eyes met. But I couldn't see him for it. I don't know. In any case, I don't like it.
Do you all believe it is somehow linked to the Sicklands diseases?
You hear a loud thumping noise outside.
Looks out the window.
Yeah, you see two large beings stomping their way forward, kind of looking around. They don't know you're in there. They're just gonna walk straight, but then they see Lupescu and they're like, good doggy. He steps forward and rubs his rocky hand on the head. Lupescu is kind of like, it's kind of, it's
shit.
rock.
I love Hodon. I love Hodon a lot.
I'm going to take a walk.
Any idea of where you're venturing to, or?
Oh, just a little look around town. See if I
Stay
can't
safe.
find a shop.
Yeah.
You step
I feel
on out.
safer. I feel safer here than I've felt in
A
few
long
weeks.
time.
Yeah. If you don't mind, do a little scouting while you're at it.
That's part of the plan.
Appreciate it.
No.
So,
Just.
Master Carthian, hello. Going out for a stroll, I see.
That is what I plan on doing. Yes.
Excellent, excellent. Well, if you need anything, don't be afraid to ask. I've retrieved our dearest friend.
Hello.
Hi!
Well, everyone.
You know what would be fucking hilarious? If Hodon grabbed the wrong one. Just
Calculating.
beating the shit out of him.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, you and go off.
I'm gonna actually once I get sufficiently far enough away, I'm gonna give him. I'm gonna reach into my little pouch.
Oh yeah.
My little baggie. And take some mushrooms.
Ooh, fun. Yeah.
Oh, you do
All
miss
right.
me.
You go off and
then I'm going to look up.
Oh! All right. Give me perception check with advantage, not disadvantage. No, you're so fucked up you can't see shit. Yeah.
The clouds are still parted, so
Yep. Shit. All right, let's see. I saw that 20. Still, that's over 20, so that makes it. All right, Carthian. You step out and you take some mushrooms, and Lupescu sort of just like crouches down and sort of just kind of like keeps on alert for you for a second as you just sort of stare up. And at a moment, Lupescu's curious as well and looks up as well. Let me just roll a Lupescu roll here. He doesn't see what you see, but he can almost feel what you feel when you're looking at it. As you start looking up again, and it's a strange experience, because as you look up, your vision starts to go a little wavy. Colors start to shift in the sky. The sky feels so much more vivid than it does normally as you look up at it. As you gaze at that spot, you don't think you see directly with your eyes what Barrett saw, but instead you feel the sensation of its hitting the ground. You don't see, but you feel what it's like for that thing to hit you. The same way that earlier Laz had said how the reflection of this, the glimmer, the slightest glimmer off the eyes of those looking at it reflects upon the ground. By that logic, everything here, the water reflecting, everything in this area, would similarly be a reflection of that light. You can feel how the world itself, this connection to the earth, everything here, the vivid, almost wild spreading of all of that land and the massive evolution, everything speaks to you. It has been speaking to you, and you've learned from where they get their voice how these things can communicate with you, despite being able only to communicate with themselves in the past. It has allowed freedom of communication between the land and its denizens. As you see up into the sky and that empty patch in the air, you can feel it. You can feel it within your very blood. Lupescu kind of nudges the side of you with his nose as he feels the almost anxiety that spreads throughout, knowing you're constantly being watched, feeling everything around. He has not felt exactly like this. In the past, you've mostly always been asleep.
It's like an eye.
A lidless eye, constantly staring down from the sky, looking at everything here. You realize that so long as you walk above the ground, you could never be free from this gaze.
Looking upon the southern end of Goliath.
As you stare up, everything sort of, actually make me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, good.
I was waiting for it.
Okay. Now, one thing I need to consider really quick, I just realized, is you all still have exhaustion, I think.
Yes.
But
Oh,
I've been letting
right.
you guys roll ability checks just fine prior. That's not saves, though. But I'll keep that in mind. You are fine, because you don't, it's only level 1. You don't have exhaustion on skills yet. So you feel this almost creeping into your psyche. I think what I need to ask now for Carthian is, what is Carthian's relationship with being free? How does Carthian feel about having freedom in his life?
It's the best thing he could ask for. He's not completely sure he has it, but within a certain perspective, he has more than someone typically, more than a lot of the people in his station have. While he does answer to the Ebon Ward and is proud to do so, he still gets to travel. He still gets to see the world. He still gets to meet interesting people and see interesting things. He gets to hang out with the weirdest group of folks that anyone would even the strangest association of people that are probably together in this world today. Gets to meet human chimera and gets to have a half romance with a mushroom woman and gets all of these different experiences. That's sort of gets to punch Baird in the face.
Yeah. It makes something dawn on you. This is no chaos. Neither is this. Not affecting you now. This is no curse. Nothing like that. All it is a realization. That's all that plagues you right now. This is the freest place on this planet. Right here, right now. All of those things you desire and appreciate, that's the truth of it here. The violence, the mud, the disgustingness, obviously. It's a pain in the ass, but to see everything and how it grows, how it lives here, how you felt the environment around you, makes you realize that amongst everything here, you've done pretty well. If anything, you are the apex predator out here. You and your team have managed to defeat everything in its way. And that means that isn't this really just your freedom's playground? Take what information you will as you will. It doesn't affect your mind. You're not drawn to anything in particular. But a realization all the same dawns on you that this is the freest place ever, really. All of the half of those things you started talking about near the end were all possible because of this place. It's a new perspective, to say the least, as you stare up at the sky.
Hmm.
What would you like to do in the meanwhile?
Just kind of looking around.
Yeah.
Vibe.
Looking, yeah, I'm just vibing. I'm like gonna go to the
Yeah.
park and contemplate stars.
Yeah, as you travel around, all I'll say is that every step in this place confirms that thesis. Meanwhile, are we going to be heading to a long rest sometime soon? Waking up on the dawn of the next day?
Yeah, I think Barrett doesn't really say anything else for a long while, and then he's just like, "I'm going to bed," just very abruptly, just like, "I'm done thinking." I'm
Yeah. I'll
Christian.
let you do a perception check, Carthian, and if you pass like a DC 10, I'll tell you a little more information about the town tomorrow. Yes, Cortina?
Just let me know if Elrock dies.
Oh!
What the hell are you doing?
Oh.
Getting it in.
You're giving him the sickness, correct?
We're cooking.
We're cooking.
I'm gonna spend the rest of my spell. I'm gonna cast a healing spirit for him to sit in. Like I'm gonna keep him alive.
Yeah.
But if he dies, I gotta know if I gotta bring him back.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Okay. Let me roll some Constitution checks for him really quick, because everyone. I'm gonna have you roll these, and then everyone's gonna give me a long rest.
Nice.
Saving throw time. Ooh, that's
a
bad.
Bad start.
Hey. If the floor is not... If he's within 10 feet...
Alright, let's see.
Can he get...
Okay, he gets near death, but manages to pass your spell DC on the third save. You think you whipped up a mighty nasty disease, honestly. Here's what this does. You have built a disease where you basically can infect someone's stat and give them disadvantage on any rolls with that stat. Every turn they have to remake the save, and if they fail that, then it spreads to another stat. If all of their stats get marked, they die.
That's a nasty, spicy meatball.
Yeah. Now, one of the limitations of it is you cannot pick Constitution to start, but it can be the second one.
That's fair.
Yeah, so it has to spread in, and then it grows. It'll start sapping the body, and so at that point, it can get really nasty. But yeah, that's what you developed so far.
All right,
you can now, if you physically hit someone with your Gulthias staff, you can spread that into them, also within your spore sphere.
Yeah, I was gonna say what she's going to do is when it is cooked, when the oven dings, she's going to grow a mushroom out of his chest and then just pluck it out.
Yeah, take it, eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want that one.
Yeah, you take that and you absorb it. He's fucking spent after that. Like, he's fucking just mumbling.
He's calling it a day.
He's calling it a day at that one.
Well, my champion. And then she's gonna go downstairs.
So,
God.
Something tells me Alrog has another level of exhaustion, and we're not going to see him for like 2 days.
Yes, he's
He
definitely
does
gonna
not
have
get
some trouble.
along.
I mean, he's not needed.
Yeah, he's fine right now.
I mean, we're gonna the next
something.
couple of days are going to be recon.
Researching.
Yeah.
Recon and research.
So let me just roll a rest for you, Cortina. There you go, back up to full. So let me just really fast.
I smite the moon.
do a thing. Let me first. I'm gonna opacity layer basically everyone. Once they finished with their nonsense, Baird went upstairs. He was having trouble sleeping because of the stink down here. from all the surrounding kind of mucky water.
Yeah.
Lupescu's outside. He can't go inside. He's a little stuck.
Too big.
You've got your giants basically blockading the street just about. Barrett,
Yeah.
you dreamed tonight, as I'm sure you've probably expected.
Yep. I figured this might happen.
You have a pretty intense dream as while you're sleeping, you almost, it starts out rather simple as one of those types of dreams that you almost think might be reality. You wake
Yeah.
up, you go, but you're not in the sick lands. You're back up north in Ebonward Central, actually. You're just doing some basic work up there, something or other. It's honestly just like how an average day went up there.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, you stepped outside and you went to basically out near the dead of night. And as you did, you felt it. You looked up in the stars in the sky, and as you did that, everything sort of shrunk down. An oppressive, almost sap started dripping from everything around you, the trees, anything. As you sort of looked up, you found yourself back in the Sicklands, almost not teleporting. You just didn't even realize when you'd stepped back into it. As you go, eventually in your dream, you come face to face with something. That presence, the one you felt way back near the beginning, it's watching you. The one that found you when you were simply crumpled down due to that injury from the bog beast. You see its form, these different almost branches coming out from its head, singular glowing eyes and an otherwise dark body staring directly at you, forward in your direction, fully wrapped by your appearance. But it doesn't talk this time. It just stares at you, almost watching you. It is your dream, though, Barrett. What do you do in your dream?
Barrett, he's gonna take a defensive stance. He's not gonna like reach for his gun.
What are you?
It kind of tilts its head at you ever so slightly as you say that, like it's confused about the question. And then it sort of looks and then kind of adjusts its head back up. A child is not the one who decides who they are. I am simply learning, helping. And I think I can help you now, too.
Oh, really?
Do you remember, mister? You notice its form shift. It takes on this almost childlike voice. Back when we first met. Back then. A form shifting again. Very almost ephemeral. Same with the way you looked at the sky earlier. It's hard to keep an image of this thing still for long as it looks down at you again. You didn't want my help then, but I know what you need now. I could feel it. You were talking to the nice lady about it. The other one that looked at me.
Did you hurt her?
No, I would never do that. I just wish to help. As you talk to this figure, there's a shift. You want to keep everyone alive, right? So that they can experience life. You want them to live for something. I can help with that. I can help you, Barrett.
You keep saying you can help, but you haven't given me a sales pitch yet.
You, sort of, as you say that, the, form just kind of goes quiet a little bit. And then it sort of vanishes throughout the area, the darkness surrounding you ever so clear. As you look around again, you're trying to keep an eye, but it still is definitely there. If you'd like, I could give you a boon. All you would have to do is pursue what you really wish to do.
Take it.
You look around again, and then you step and you see on the forest floor there's something. You notice it's just hanging there on the ground, an object familiar to you. It's a gas mask. And as you look at it, yeah.
He crouches down. He's not gonna
Mhm.
touch that shit, but he's gonna examine it.
You look at it, and as you see it radiates with something, an energy, a sort of feeling. This would give you everything you desire, all for the cost of being able to choose what you do to gain your desires.
Barrett?
It is.
Yeah, he stands up.
Yeah. What do you do, Barrett?
He's looking around, seeing if he can spot this entity again.
You see eyes piercing at you from the woods, but its form is hidden amongst the dark.
What do you get out of this? No one's this generous without having ulterior motives.
The form sort of just... You can tell a head tilt again. What do I get? I'm not in it to get anything.
Insight.
Go for it, insight. Yeah.
Oh, shit!
You know, you feel like you can sense bullshit with that statement. Everyone's out there for something. Especially something like this. It's obviously tied in some way to the Fae. But there's a sickeningness. What it's telling you also isn't a lie. Whatever it is, it genuinely believes this is only for your benefit.
Barrett taps his foot a couple times.
You know, I've made do without the blessings of gods or the shenanigans of magic. I won't lie. Recently, I have seen its usefulness, but I'm a man of innovation.
And he pulls out his gun.
I make my own destiny, mate.
You say that as you sort of hold the gun in your hand, and the eye sort of blinks again, and then sort of fades for a moment. And you notice as the dark sort of swarms and sort of fills in the area until it's all you can see. And then you start feeling this pounding in your chest. This sort of feeling, it's the same raspiness you feel in your lungs as you just start feeling it pounding more and more, and you feel yourself low on breath as you sit there, and then over time it gets worse and worse. You start coughing and coughing, and then yes, like that.
Yeah.
You break awake, snapping up as you feel yourself go into a coughing fit. Must be the damn moisture in this place. In all actuality, you were awoken before the final answer was reached with the thing. And you find yourself sitting there, and you don't feel like you're heading to bed anytime soon.
Yeah. I think with that, first and foremost, Barrett is going to look around like, is that mask around here?
You
He's like
look around.
genuinely concerned at this point because this is some bullshit going on now.
You look around and make me a This is interesting. What do you usually use as an artificer for tinkering rolls?
Oh, it would be my tools.
Raw intelligence.
Yeah.
Or yeah, I guess intelligence, yeah, if it's just strictly brain space.
Intelligence, you can add your tools bonus to this, proficiency with it. So you can add your proficiency to your intelligence, yeah, all that stuff.
If that's the case, because I actually get a bonus on that sort of thing. D20.
It's in your face.
Yeah, because it's 4 plus 8. Because I get to double my tools.
Wow!
All right, Barrett, there is no mask around you. You are not granted some boon. But as you think about it, you know how to make it now. After all, aren't you a man who carves his own destiny?
I think what Barrett's gonna do
Uh-huh.
is he is going to head outside,
Yeah.
very pointedly be like out in the open, flip off the sky, and get to work.
As you do that,
Giga Chad.
you check it. As you step outside, though, you realize you're not alone right now. As
God.
you look out, and let me just quickly swap you back over here really quick.
I love Barrett so much, Will. You have
Yeah.
I can't express how much I love this man. He's been my favorite NPC ever since he first showed up in Everlord, and he keeps being the GOAT.
He is the GOAT. Absolutely.
This guy's been around since session 3.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
been around the block.
So you
yeah.
step out, and as you flip off, you look down and you notice Tani is just kind of standing there, and you also see the way that the moonlight of the other moon, like the actual moon that you fully know is up there this entire time. You know, the normal thing is
Yeah.
reflecting the light off on the waters here. And she sort of turns around a bit surprised and see you. Huh, Barrett.
Hey.
Hey.
Good to see you up.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I had a bit of a moment.
That's A-okay.
Kind of like tilts his head looking.
You okay?
Yeah, bad dreams.
Same.
She kind of looks at you. I'm probably not crazy for asking this. Would you like to exchange dreams? I think we'd be surprised about how close they are.
Well, that's not really a surprise if we actually know already, huh?
Yeah, I'd be more surprised to hear it was just... She kind of moves over and sits down on this rope thing again, this kind of underneath which there's just used to look like there was supposed to be stuff stored, but yeah, she just sort of sits down there. She's just like, at this point, I'd love to hear that you just had a dream about some crazy dinosaur or something like that.
Huh. That'd have been fun.
He just kind of like leans on the railing of the bridge and just kind of stares at the
Right.
water.
Well, you first, if I can ask.
Yeah. I don't know if maybe I told you. I can't even remember anymore.
Just kind of like it's weird to see him. He like pinches the bridge of his mask and then he's like, fuck. Realizes it's not going to do anything.
A while back during that first bog beast encounter we had, when I got separated, I encountered something, Faye. It had to have been some weird, inky, shape-shifting piece of shit.
I've sworn I've heard something about that, though.
Yeah?
It's vague enough in the past when you told us that it sounded like just anything you could find in the Six Lands.
True. Thing is, when I encountered it, it seemed interested in helping. But as we both know, because we're smart, you don't trust Faye to help you. They got something else in mind. Well,
She kind of nods.
well, tonight, it's the first time where I've had a dream encountering that thing again. And once again, more persistent, genuinely pushy. Said it wanted to help me. It, offered me a mask.
She kind of shudders at that thought as she's like, yes, I think we had a similar dream.
Yeah.
I dreamed I was back at the temple. She kind of everything was like how it was during my days in apprenticeship. I learned I was simply cleaning up after someone else's mess, just running around rampantly, was exhausted. I think it was... She stops, and it's like, can I speak earnestly about something? It's not going to be a surprise to you.
I'd be offended if you didn't.
You've noticed my constitution, correct?
I didn't
What?
want
My general,
No.
yeah.
to. I didn't want to comment on it, and despite what meta details are about my character, but I rolled well. I got a pretty bad constitution. I mean, there it is right there. But you seem to be a little different in that regard.
She kind of like, yeah, back. It's always been a problem. Back when I was growing up, I almost died about 5 times before I reached the age of 3.
Jeez.
She kind of I've talked in the past about my own life and my relationship with Lissa. Being on the verge of death has always been something that has been close to me. I'm aware of it. It's probably why it must come as odd is why I signed up for this mission. But despite my lack of ability in this department, I did not mind, as they needed someone expendable to go die for the cause. It wasn't a big deal if I went, I suppose, in my own mind. She kind of looked across, and I thought I could help. And despite everything, I suppose I've kept bellies fed. That's worthy. It's something. No one's spent too much time eating the crap out here, so it's something, at least. I never thought it'd be the spell I'd cast the most in my time as a priest, I'll tell you that much. She is getting off topic, and she kind of just puts her hand on her knee, and then sort of her other hand sort of rubs her arm, and just kind of like, I've always felt a bit off for these types of missions and expeditions. A life of violence is a particularly risky one for me. When I went into the dream, that I had dreamt of something that had happened a lot at the temple. I dreamt of me collapsing from overworking. A normal amount of work for others, but for me, a terrible amount. And as we were at this point, I remember my vision had gone blurry, and that's when I ended up here in the swamp. And that's when it appeared, and it started asking me. Let me just do something really quick. Okay.
Barrett, for the first time in a while, he stands up straight, and he is notably nervous.
As she looks across, you want to know what it offered me?
I can make a guess, but clarification is always good.
It made me an offer for... It gave me the option to, for once in my life, finally be able to walk alongside everyone else that I care about. And not burden them in that way.
Barrett.
I've given... Yeah?
Barrett just stands up straight, and he is glaring. Honestly, it's the energy of like a judgmental father who's like, I'm gonna let you explain, but get ready for me.
Yeah. As she sort of just looks down a little bit. I have been a devotee to Tawny. No, been a devotee to Lissa for a long, long time. I have come to terms with the fact that I may die. So, I never thought it would be such a tempting offer. All the same, I told it no. I said no and to leave me alone, to let me be. I'm worried, Barrett. Because there was a part of me inside that said yes, despite me never saying it out loud. I don't know what that means. I don't know what's going to happen to me.
Barrett, notably his shoulders kind of slouch, clearly was tense to hear the answer, but relaxes.
But the important thing is you said no. I won't lie. There was a moment where I considered it too. But like I said before,
taps the side of his head and points at her as well.
we're both smart. We aren't gonna fall for shit like that. Now, Baird, that's a different story, but, you know.
You should never. I hope you never
Bear
have
comes
to
around.
dream.
Hey, check it out, guys! I got a mask.
Oh, it's like a cloth one. It's like just like the one I have now.
Oh, it's rad.
It's rad.
Check this out! I got a second dagger.
Barrett
Mhm.
kind of like steps up and looks down at her while she's sitting.
I want to make something clear to you, Tawny. We haven't done a good job of expressing it. I know I haven't for sure, because that's just... I'm a fucker, let's face it. But you have been instrumental in this operation. Yeah, you make food, but guess what? That keeps us alive. And you've healed us multiple times. You've kept us alive when we've gotten close, and you've done all of this while always being close to death's door yourself. So, I never want to hear you describe yourself as expendable ever again, because you're not. You are a person, you breathe, you have desires too. You should get to see the end like everyone else.
She kind of like, I never thought I'd. Thank you. It's kind of funny. When I first met you, I didn't think I'd ever hear those words coming from you. You seemed like quite the severe fellow. I appreciate it, though.
Barrett crosses arms and looks out.
You know, honestly, depending on when you'd asked me before this job, yeah, I might have been a little worse, quite frankly. I've been out of the field for a long, long time. I had one bad job out here. It was a personal job, something I wanted real bad. Sell my inventions to Toter. My sister got jealous, used her nasty magic to paralyze me, and let a manticore just maul me. So I got left out here and, well...
And he actually lowers his neck, or like the neck of his jacket and whatnot, and reveals this awful, just like it looks like just almost rotted bacon. It's just awful. It's really bad on his neck.
And that keeps going
come
up.
on.
And rolls it back
Katie
up.
just wanted to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, you show her that, and so let me give her a long rest. Hang on. There we go.
Yeah.
You show her that, and she kind of looks at it. She's just like, "Oh, I see.
So
That's."
I haven't been out in the field in a while. I didn't trust people for a long time. And I'll be real, I still fucking hate magic. But I can't deny, when it's in the hands of good folks, it can do some pretty crazy shit.
She
So thanks.
I'm happy to help. She well, I suppose that's. I'll keep up the good work. Won't go accepting any deals anytime soon. The best I can.
Good.
Yo, guys, check this out. My arm grew back.
comes out, has 4 left arms.
God.
Let's go.
Actually,
I can hold so many halberds with this.
Actually, kind of funnily timed. Laz, you come walking down the stairs with an intense headache. You had a bad dream too.
Yeah.
You stumble on forward, looking to get some water at least. As you kind of move forward, and both Tawny and Barrett, as you turn, as you hear the door creak open again, Laz, you step through and notice these two just sort of standing around. Looks like they've just been talking for a bit.
Am I interrupting something?
Nah, just couldn't sleep. Bad dreams.
Yeah.
I see.
What about you?
I had a bit of a nightmare, but what was it? What was it about, Christian?
It was the same dream you had last session, except more intense now. Added on visually was the addition of your host here in Lowborough. You got to see you. It was strange. You're not sure what the vision of him young looks like, and yet you still visioned it. You saw him as a younger man, and you saw him rot over real time to how he was now, and then beyond. But beyond that, it was the same. You dreamt of those people in that town dying, calling out, and no one answering.
And just bad things happening, and I was powerless to stop it. Laz kneels down, looking at the pond. Sorry, what were you saying, Christian?
No, Tani would just like see no weird dreams of masks, right?
What? Why would I need a mask?
Yeah, rub it in.
She just like waves her hand. Sorry. Yeah, it's just nothing. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, what's up with this water?
It's rank, old. It's been sitting in here for a long time. It's collected a lot of like amoeba and stuff like that inside of it. It's not been cleaned in a good amount of time.
It'll do.
Tani sees you about to take up, and she's like, hang on. She goes over and she's going to use purified food and drink. And she's going to basically touch the water and just sort of, you notice it retains a little bit of a, color, or it sort of goes a little more clear, I should say, as the water becomes a little nicer.
Much obliged. Laz says out of pure, what's the word I'm looking for? Just being nice, because it didn't really freaking matter.
Yeah, he just does that. She does that, and she kind of looks at her hands again, and she just kind of laughs a little.
He fucking dunks his face in. Just
Yeah.
like a weirdo.
Yeah, as your head's underwater, she turns over, and she's a pretty taciturn person, Barrett, but you see her like smile wide. She's just like, guess you're right. Just doing that again.
Barrett thumbs up.
Yeah, now he's not going to shit himself tomorrow. Nice job, Doc.
I don't think it matters much for him anyways, but just in
I don't
case
think he
Baird gets the
shits.
idea. Yeah, just in case Baird gets the same idea.
Yeah, Laz looks up with water dripping from his mouth. I don't shit. What does that mean? What does that mean?
I do not
Oh,
shit, I only bleed.
Can I roll for
God.
catching a fish down here? I don't know.
There are no living fish there.
Oh, so it's easy.
Yeah, it's easy. There's some bones. You can pick up some. You come back with like a fully rotted bone skeleton of a fish in your mouth, and you just like start crunching it like it's a chip.
Yeah.
As
Bothering you?
No, it's fine. As
It's
you've
fucking gross.
been sitting
It
there,
is.
um,
But you know, when you don't feel taste and these things really cease to matter, nutrition is
so.
nutrition.
as you looked around, you realized it's become morning again.
Can I just say that's rad as shit?
Yeah.
Love
Yeah.
You notice the sun has snuck up on
lighting.
you.
That
Yeah.
was so cool.
We
And
have a town to explore and a library to visit.
Yeah.
as you do so, eventually, everyone begins to wake up bit by bit, and I'm going to start dropping people down as put yourself wherever you want to be in this outside courtyard area as everyone kind of gets together, and people are going to figure out what we're going to do today. Alrock is kind of sitting, has decided to stay in bed for now, as he's been feeling rather poor. Cortina, you step down and enter the courtyard yourself.
So I did get a 14 on that on that perception
yes,
check you
yes.
had me
So,
do.
I'll start out with you, Carthian. Just give me a bit of a ballpark of what you're trying to learn, and I can tell you.
Mostly just trying to like get an idea of where, like, can we see the keep from here?
You can see a very far off, kind of blocked by the large trees. You do see the very tip of a castle tower in the far distance.
Okay.
This is to give some context, I will give you context of the area. This is a portion of Lowborough. This is all that's left of the town itself. A lot of the areas walking up have been consumed by the water, have sunk into the marsh, and beyond that, There are also a few areas that appear to have been razed or lost or overgrown. It seems like there's a continual effort to try to keep the trees and nature at bay. And honestly, placing themselves on the water has seemed to done better to keep a lot of the larger foliage from actually spreading throughout. There's some nasty fish that seem to swim around in these waters, though. You see
thought they
big
were all
teeth
dead.
and everything. Only in the
Um,
center pool. In the surrounding area, yeah, but yeah.
Okay. Most of my efforts probably would have been dedicated to learning the lay of the land, particularly as it pertains to finding a good route to get the castle from.
Eleanor's kind of like, so it sounds like it's in the castle's courtyard. So if we went up there, we could go in and, I suppose, find it rather easily. I'd hope. We could ask for more details on that if that's our plan.
Yeah.
Any other stuff anyone's interested in?
While we're all hanging out and doing breakfast and whatnot, Barrett is going to be working on that mask.
Sure thing. Yeah, you're just tinkering with some stuff, starting the process on it.
Yeah.
As let me just hang on. Bam, spell slot. Cool. All right. Everyone has a pretty nice breakfast. You would actually basically ask for anything you want, and Tani just delivers on it for you.
Much
I
appreciated.
would like some dirt.
Much obliged.
You get dirt with mushrooms in it.
Wow, my favorite. Cortina is holding a very special little brother, like a baby.
Oh.
Yeah.
God, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, all I was gonna say is, Barrett will also add is like,
I think we need to also kind of assess how strong the knights are that they had mentioned around that castle. Because if we do need to fight, we're gonna need to know what the fuck they can do.
Visiting the castle is definitely a top priority. Even if we're not getting in today, getting a look at it would be.
What seems to be the
very
problem
nice.
with getting in?
Walls.
Yeah,
walls.
Yeah, walls play a
Big
part.
doors.
Yeah.
Walls
It
of
seems
stone.
one of
And
the walls of stone, but also there's a moat. A moat. There are multiple, like, it's built near basically on water with little sandbars and waters along the way. So it is very much a in the water settlement.
And possibly
Whoa.
defenses that we are unaware of, much like that ballista that shot at us.
Yeah. Hey,
So-
also, let me interrupt really quick.
Yeah,
'cause,
yeah.
You said something, and I think Carthene would have all knowledge. Carthene, roll me history. You might have some idea of how the knights here fight, actually.
Good.
hell yeah.
With guns.
Oh,
I
wonderful.
mean, that sounds cool as shit.
Right?
That's an aesthetic.
Fully
man.
armored knights with shotguns? Fucking.
Yo.
Oh, good rolls
man.
today.
So
Yeah, you're not sure.
Yeah.
obviously, you are well versed in what it. You were training to be a full knight indeed, and as you were trying to reach that length, you learned a lot. You have a lot of knowledge of noble houses and things like that. You are aware that now, at least, that the knights that came down here were originally hailing from the culture that came to the north. So you're probably pretty sure that how they would all fight together, at least to some degree. They would all potentially have be trained in the arts of close range combat. They would probably be able to parry blows rather effectively, fully scaled and fighting effectively in plate armor. They are probably tough nuts to crack in terms of any sort of emotional attacks or otherwise. If they manage to abandon the entire town, then they're probably pretty loyal. And beyond that, you know that the knights have been made. They're organized groups, so they're probably going to have a lot more tactics and the ability to help each other and keep an eye for each other compared to the rats, which mostly just shove each other in the way. As for their weaponry, I mean, they'll probably have adopted local weapons to some degree.
Sticks.
Carthian, did you
Somewhat.
see the castle?
I did. I got a look.
Can you describe it to me?
It's surrounded by a moat and then walls. The walls are manned.
And
Though
as Carthian describes it to her, I'm going to use Druidcraft to basically make a facsimile of the tower of the
Ooh.
castle.
Nice.
Oh,
Yes. Absolutely.
rad.
The little.
Let me grab my Gumpler real quick. Let's make
Yeah.
a little.
Yeah. You on that center little river point of like basically like literally right between you and Laz, a little model of this castle is crafted up around. As you see little moats, outer walls, doorways, and stuff like that beginning to form there.
Now, I wouldn't know where you would tend to keep watchtowers, but surely there's a blind spot. And crossing water, walking through stone, that's never really been a problem for me.
Well, a castle always has an underground.
Well, that's where the library is. Apparently, it's under the courtyard. But wait a minute. If it's under the courtyard... Cortina, how far can you go down?
It would take some time, but I could go fairly far.
Time might not be on our side.
And the library is protected by a magical barrier.
Right, so digging probably isn't the option. I think we're gonna have to go and find a more legitimate way in.
Also, digging, I assume it's on top of water. I wouldn't have much room to work with.
Yeah, we might flood it.
However, if we got there, it would be very easy for me to access a lower floor, a cellar.
We could try talking. It worked in the first few set of gates we've encountered.
according to our host, it doesn't seem that they've been on speaking terms with the locals, but we aren't the locals.
And we
So
are not
it's not
commoners
impossible.
either. Grabs the little pendant, the little brooch with the emblem.
You know, I hate
You're of noble birth too, Carthian.
Yeah, we got two nobles, and I don't like the idea, but we do have another thing up our sleeve that could be beneficial if we don't want to jump in for guns blazing immediately. Nobles have particular tastes. They want things. We can just play mercenaries. They might have a job
Don't
for
forget
us.
that they may also be ailed by the same things that infected the people here.
Yeah, that's true.
Going over there and taking a look will answer most of these questions that we can just, stop pondering about.
There are also old traditions of hospitality. We may be able to leverage some of those in order to at least get inside.
Right.
Assuming they are sane.
Assuming they are sane, yes.
You mentioned that there are ruins near the castle, as of crumbled towers and such. Christian?
Yeah, there were, it's mostly towards near the town. When you get to the castle itself, it's a little more,
Well
put together.
maintained.
Yeah, you you went around the town. You didn't get close to the tower, but at the time it seemed like it was fine enough. Let me just, do a little thing really quick.
Sneak attack.
Bear time.
Assassins.
Okay. Yeah, so you're all basically continue, honestly. If you had anything else to say.
Yeah.
No, we could talk about it all day.
Or we could go and see.
There is. The fact is, we're operating without a full deck of information.
Yeah.
They
We
could
need
always
to.
do a preliminary sweep. That is if
Yes.
they don't shoot down strange birds.
That's
I mean-
true.
As long as you are a strange bird, maybe they'll let you go. A normal
Cortina.
bird may draw more attention than a strange bird.
Cortina, you wanna go do a flying run?
Yeah, would somebody mind holding my child?
Christ.
Silence.
I'll hold the child.
Thank God.
Congratulations
Immune to diseases.
are in order.
I am
gave birth
going
last
to
night.
give you a.
Congratulations.
Where is it? I'm going to cast. That's only 1 minute. Here we go. This lasts for 10 minutes. I'm gonna give you a little shield of faith.
Ooh, yes. There should be enough time to get a fly and then fly back.
Oh, I wonder. I might have something that can
Plus
help
2
with
AC.
too. You know what? Yeah, because we're. I don't think we're gonna. I hope to God we're not gonna get into combat today. How long does this last? Great. I'm going to put invisibility on you. I make a small
invisible
ghillie suit
bird.
for a bird.
It's in the sky.
It's good.
I got shot last time.
It's good. It's good.
Don't worry, it's good.
good.
It's good.
It's
Look,
good. It's
look
good.
here.
It's good.
I got
It's
you.
just
I
worse.
got you. It's blue underneath it.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
yeah,
matches
yeah.
with the sky.
Yeah, the obvious thing is that it's like blue on the underside, and then like on
Green
top.
on top.
Yeah, and on top it's probably like I don't know what I would do to make you
Swamp.
Yeah, like-
swamp colors.
Yeah, just like just swamp garbage, just like there, perfect.
Yeah, there you go.
Great, now I will be a bird and dirty.
You're welcome.
All you've
Cortina.
always wanted.
You pop into bird form, and you sort of just move off and out, and you're gonna just fucking fly straight in the direction of that place. You just soar off. And
Wow, I can't see her at all. You did a good job, Barrett.
Yep. Listen, I'm
it's
good
one of
at
those
my job.
things where when you're close, it's so obvious. But when she's flying so high up and in the air, you cannot tell all the details that are missing, essentially. And the essence of camouflage, as you beginning to
Disrupt the
move.
shape.
Mm-hmm. As she moves out, Cortina, you begin flying up into the air and looking down. Luckily, this is the only skill eagles are trained in. Here's your perception roll. Nice. Cortina, when you look down, you gaze upon a keep, and one of the things you see, not only do you see the knights manning the walls and in generally a whole bunch of people around these gates, but beyond that, you see fire. You see war. Currently, as of today, a castle siege has begun.
What the fuck?
And the people sieging are none other than the rat folk
And
you've
the
been seeing
rats.
over and over again as a swarm of them are rushing at the walls using these shoddily constructed materials to attempt to batter down the main wall, and it seems a fight is currently on way now.
Would you like some tea, lady?
Well,
Thank you.
I love that. That's so funny.
Yeah, upon that, at a certain point, you all hear an eagle screech as sort of landing down, the bird returns, and then pop, pop, Cortina reappears, and
Welcome back.
Get your fighting pants on if you want to make a good first impression. We have rats to kill.
what?
Don't they ever run out?
The castle is under siege by the rat folk. If you want to get in good with the nobles, solving their problem would be a good first step.
Yeah, you're right, actually. All right, everyone that's combat ready, suit up. We're getting in there.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, the other option would be to help the rats.
Or we can just sneak in while they all fight.
Tell you
Yep.
what. Oh, shit, that is... Oh, boy, we got options. All right, let's think about this. Sits down. What are we feeling? Because we don't know the layout of the castle at all. So we'd be
I
running
do.
blind.
Oh, The inside.
Yeah, the inside, we got no clue. Not to mention, once we're in there, there's a barrier around the library itself. We're gonna need a key or something, yeah?
Cortina, do you have shrink person?
I could turn you into something small.
How many times a day?
And
can you
large
do
is
that?
also shrink, by the way.
Oh.
I'd have to check and see. I've never done enlarge. I might have it.
I'm not looking for well. I mean, I guess.
Well,
you
if you want to shrink,
yourself.
but in worst case scenario, I could just turn you and polymorph you into a bug.
As Angra said, enlarge is also shrink. Like, it's the same spell.
Oh, it's the same spell. I see. I see.
I don't think you have that though. Yeah,
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
But you can polymorph people up to 3
polymorph.
times a day. Actually, 4 times if you use your 5th level spell for it too.
I mean, doing.
I mean,
Here's the thing, right?
It would get us into the building.
But then Cortina's tapped.
Yeah.
Actually, I could come up with a workaround.
Oh.
I mean, here's
If
the
I
thing.
summon some pixies to polymorph us into bugs, then we could all be bugs.
Yes,
my
that
God.
is true.
That is true.
How much magic do
Bad.
you want to deal with?
Oh boy.
And here's the thing, right? If we get caught in there, you're with the Shimizel family.
Yeah, but is that gonna be enough?
I mean, we have the emblem, and Carthian here is also a noble. Knows the noble speaks. And
Abudin kind of speaks
if
up
anything,
after you
do you
finish,
really
keep going.
think that in these conditions they keep track of every single face in there?
Abudin
Sure.
kind of speaks up in this case too. Yeah, he'll interrupt as he's just like, it'll all just depend. Are they sane or not? We won't know until we see them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's make our way there.
Yeah. Let's move. Let's assess once we get there.
You all start
Okay.
to head out, and suddenly the door slams open as Baird enters in. You guys aren't gonna fucking believe this shit.
Rats.
Rats.
No! What? What? Rats? Where? He pulls out his knife. He already had it out, actually. But you notice... No. Hang on. He tosses someone into the room. It's a civilian. One of those diseased folk. Look at him! Motherfucker!
What? What is? Why did you bring a civilian in here? Just a month.
You're... What? No, it's a... You notice that he's pulled up his face mask again and has stopped talking and is looking lidless. Oh, you motherfucker! Don't you dare do that shit now! You're fucking caught, dude! He stops, goes over, and then he starts peeling off the mask, and then suddenly there's an energy as the form starts to fight back against it suddenly and starts pushing back against it until suddenly, as he pulls it back, the form falls away, and you notice it looks up and sees Barrett is like, oh, my friend! Oh! And I'm calling it right there.
Oh my god! Knew it was gonna happen.
The second.
If he's the fucking reason rats are here.
Oh god.
I knew you would not be able to stop yourself from supping from such sweet fruit.
So here's the best part about Josen appearing here. I, for the longest time, have been like, we're gonna find Josen. I don't know where or when, but we'll find him. And I legitimately forgot about him this session. Like, the perfect
course.
time for him to appear.
Yeah. Of course, you're always thinking about it until now.
It's like the game. Like, it's, oh my god.
The second you shut down rats and he brought a person in, I'm almost like, here it comes. Please, God, let this be it.
What are we gonna do about this guy, gang? Like, cause legitimately.
For
Oh, yeah?
For Brennan, This is the worst man I've ever played. And I played him in Ebon Ward West.
Good.
This
So I think I'll have a great
That's
time.
when you're the worst, you're at your best.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Brennan, let me put into perspective real quick. This man is directly responsible for the main Ebon Ward party having a super assassin revenant as their ally.
Yep.
So he's great.
Yeah.
He's great.
So one other thing to keep in mind. Well, actually, you know what? Because you probably don't have that information, Brennan. I think I'll leave that as a surprise.
Let it be a
it's great.
surprise.
Yeah.
It's great. You get to learn about him straight up, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm excited.
So one bit of information you would know, because we briefly talked about this in the very beginning of this campaign, is that Josen is the reason we don't have antibiotics for like the party. Like he stole all of them but one, and then we gave that one to Lupescu.
The reason why Karthin
The
has
reason
to wear
why I have to wear this fucking mask.
Yeah.
I'll kill him.
Oh Christ!
Yeah,
Let me at him.
I fear for Josen's safety.
Like obviously, I don't want to kill Josen.
He stole one
worry.
coin from Sefetu's stash, which means that
Yeah.
mummy is going to wake up and cannot stop himself from trying to kill him.
Yeah. Hey, listen. Josen is nothing if not capable of talking himself out of a terrible situation. So you'll just have
He's just gonna pass that fucking coin along. Don't take any money he offered.
I'm a rightful nice man, I say. I'm very generous.
This fucker. I
So I
don't.
should give him the beans, you say?
Yes.
Don't
He would
you-
love the beans.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
No.
Luckily,
Karthin has
I've
beans,
got
Karthin
them
has
on
beans,
me.
I'm sure you're also enjoying this this guest appearance very much, chat, just like we are.
Mhm.
Oh yes.
But I do
He-
believe
he
it is
picked-
about time we call the record.
Yeah.
I mean, stream. We're
Yes,
doing
yes.
this
No,
live.
yeah, we're totally doing it live.
Totally.
And
He
at this
takes
point, the
one
audience.
bean, I feed him the rest.
I might just shoot him in the leg.
That's not a bad idea. That is not. Yeah,
He's
honestly.
gonna start off and be like, fellas, and you're just gonna shoot.
Like just blow out his knee and be like, right now you can't run. Let's
All right,
wrap.
now
kid."
you can hang out.
Yeah. Now we can talk.
Shoot him in the foot, not the knee. Christ, that
That's
will
okay.
take more-
We have healing magic.
What's a spell slot to heal?
That's fine. He'll deal with it.
It's Tawny's spell slot, so
Yeah.
does it really count?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are expendable. Okay.
Oh Christ.
And I think on that note, we can call it there. Say goodbye to chat, everybody.
Good
Bye, chat.
night.
Toodles.